Hi, it's Cathy Cena here with the Chat TV. I'm one of the co-hosts, and today we're on location, but let me tell you a little bit about who the Chat TV is. We're a group of women that get together and actually want to chat. We want to talk to real people about real live issues, mostly female and women issues, to be honest. Whether you're young, old, or not, it doesn't really matter to us. What we like to do is chat. That's all part of connectivity with humans today. So next time, when you see us out and about, or even in the studio, let's chat. I'm Cathy Cena. Today we're on location in Richmond and we're talking to Grace Lee, a student with Crofton House, the co-founder of Read Speak Lead, a debate captain, a volunteer, and a fundraiser extraordinaire. What Grace is going to talk to us about how the pandemic has affected her this last year, what she's done different to cope, and what she can look forward to in the future. Grace, welcome to the program today. Thank you so much for being with me. I would like to start things off with the fact that we are in a pandemic. Everybody knows that. So Grace, tell us, how have you been coping during COVID?
So one of the things I've been doing is just spending a lot more time with my family, particularly my brother, because he was off at college the year before, and then he came back in January. And we've been doing a lot of just like brotherly and sisterly bonding and stuff like that. I've also tried to do a lot of activities that I couldn't have before. Like I tried to bake for the first time. Didn't go super well, but I tried it.
Yeah.
And I also started actually taking some walks around my block just to get some fresh air, look at the scenery and everything.
Right, exactly. And are there some things that you were looking forward to have happened possibly this past year that didn't? What have been some of the letdowns for you because of COVID? And how have you pivoted from that? Because that's the big word right now is pivot. So how have you pivoted from that, and what did you miss out on?
Right, so in the summer, I was actually going to travel to Philadelphia for a summer camp. And then unfortunately, that didn't happen. So then what happened was instead, they moved the entire program online, and I still got to interact with a lot of different students all around the world, and still got to learn about like business and economics and other things I'm interested in. And then the other thing is my brother and I were going to travel to Whistler for the weekend just to kind of have like a little get together for the two of us, but that also didn't happen. So instead what we did was just, we had a movie night by ourselves in our basement, and then we just like watched a billion movies and had to spend a lot of time together. That's
great, because I know that your brother was off at university, now he's come back, and so it really connects the family, I think, a little more is what you're
exactly.
saying.
It really bonded us
And
together.
although that a lot of people are saddened by what's going on in the world, like don't get me wrong, people are dying, it's happening right in front of us. And what about with your schooling? Did you find that your academics dropped a little bit at all? Did you try to keep sort of an even keel even though the pandemic was happening? Like myself, I gained 20 pounds. Like what happened to you? I've lost it since. What tell me about some struggles that you went through in the beginning.
Right. So at first it was definitely super difficult to manage my time well and to just even like hand in some of my assignments on time. But then what I did later on was just have a lot of meetings with my teachers at school so they can keep me on track, and also just to ask for extra help when I needed to. And they're very supportive and very open to helping me.
So we are here at Canada YC Music Academy. I'm going to say that maybe music and through music and this beautiful art of music and the instrument that you play, we're going to see that a little bit later on. But I'm just wondering, did you find some comfort in playing the instrument that you love and you're so passionate about? Earlier we were talking, like you've been playing this instrument for how long now?
I've been playing this since 2012, so a few years.
Yeah, you're not a novice by all means. So what has music done for you during COVID and the pandemic?
One of the things about music that is so special to me, even outside of the realm of COVID, is just it provides me with a very unique sense of comfort and solace. I think it is like my zone and like my safe haven to get away from like my stresses or my anxieties. I think it has just always been a way for me to find comfort when I'm stressed.
Right. I completely agree. Some people do self-care, some people find comfort in food, some people find comfort in music. Exactly. and different things like that. If you had to give anyone advice, I know we're almost a year into this pandemic and we don't know if things are going to get better or worse at this point. There is a vaccine out. So if you had any advice to give people that were watching or young women, what would you sort of say to them regarding what your experience has been like?
I think the most important thing, especially right now, is to just have hope. I think oftentimes we see ourselves being very dwelling on the past or very hesitant about what's going to happen in the future. But I think if we're hopeful, we can always just get through our obstacles and our challenges.
Mm-hmm. And you also do some volunteer work. I know that you are avid with Crofton Manor, and things like that. Of course, COVID is also affecting our seniors in the community. And I know that every year you do some fundraising, or you go there and you do some you bring in your instruments as well. So share a little bit with me about that and how that affected the year in terms of, I'm only going to say you probably did not go there in this past December. So,
exactly.
So did you try to find alternative things to do outside of that to fundraise or keep yourself busy?
Yeah, so we couldn't, unfortunately, obviously go to the senior homes and perform for the seniors like we usually do. What I did, though, was in May or June of 2020, I participated in an online concert called Branch Out.
Wow.
And it's basically where this organization in the US gathered a lot of different musicians all around the world, different backgrounds, different instruments, different cultures, and we all got together and created a fundraiser as a concert.
Well, that's fantastic, because that sort of leads me into my next question with regards to, so you got to share your music with people in different parts of the world and in the US as well. They were from all over. So so my question is, the instrument that you play, I don't want to botch up the word, but tell me what it's called.
It's called the guzheng.
Guzheng, great. How do you combine that with our Western, world of listening to music nowadays? What are some of the things that you do that doesn't make it only sound Chinese, for example? Could you actually play a song that's well known?
So one of the ways I've done that is actually through performing at Crofton Manor, where I played Canadian folk songs or traditional Canadian songs on the instrument as a way to connect with the seniors. And another way is to just play modern and contemporary music on the instrument as well. For example, when I performed at one of I think it was the American Film Festival in the US a few years ago, I performed a very popular Chinese song on the guzheng, and it was definitely a huge hit. Everyone connected with the song, everyone knew what it was, and they were really able to engage with the instrument as well.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. I love that you talk about hope and looking forward and not thinking about the past. What are some of the things that you're hopeful for in your own future?
Something that I really want to do, especially this year, is just to relish the last year of high school with my friends. I think for a lot of us in grade 12, we become very stressed about our studies and our academic pursuits, and also are very worried about the future. But I think sometimes what we really need to do is just to kind of stay in the present and just to relish what you have right now and cherish those moments.
Right, because everyone's going left and right, and you don't know when we're going to see each other again. And so I'm really glad you connected with your family during this time and really embraced that. I think it can be challenging for a teenage girl to have her mom there and her older brother. Man, this sucks. You used to not be here, but now you are. But I'm really glad you enjoyed your movie nights with Alan and brought that full circle and took a lot of positivity out of those experiences, and that connecting with your family, I think, was really critical. I think we've covered a lot of what Grace Lee does. Grace is the founder of Read, Speak, Lead, a Chinese organization. Crofton House is the school she attends, where she is the captain of the debate and speech program there. And she does so much more, volunteering, giving back to our community, and also fundraising on a lot of different levels. Grace, we hope that what you shared with us today is going to set the tone and the stage for many young adults, many young women moving forward, and help motivate them during this pandemic. Thanks so much, Grace. We really appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you like our video, remember to follow us, subscribe, and like our socials.
Cha-cha-cha.